Hey, the video quality isn't going to be that great this time around because the power went off while I was recording and the original video got corrupted. But I was streaming at the time, so I was able to pull that off of Twitch and save most of the footage. It gets cut off at the end. I think I said just about everything I needed. Just, yeah, that happened. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, welcome to another Beyond All Reason Thinking Out Loud video. This time I decided to go air as tech. But I guess this could be like a little bit of an impromptu best practices for teching guide and also kind of air. So this is a new lobby. So you never really know what you're gonna get with these lobbies. So when I was choosing my spot, like I'll be the highest OS player in this lobby at a whopping 27 right now. Yeah,
Game started.
yeah, I've really fallen pretty hard, haven't I? Yeah, 27. So Legion was enabled. That's not really relevant, but I've been playing a lot of glitters, which has gotten me into what I like to call the poop brain pork mindset, where throughout I don't tech a whole lot because I usually think it's like if you're the highest OS player, you should be going front. But then every once in a while you play a game and then you have like the world's worst tech, and you're just like, oh my god, what am I supposed to do? It's either the front player on the other team gets a really easy lane and just like completely demolishes the lane, but there's usually the thing that happens is this map isn't that big, so maybe this is one thing to consider, that the lanes are close enough that you kind of don't have to worry about front falling too hard because people can just help each other. I don't know. But what can be really detrimental is having a tech that is really slow and doesn't share. So another interesting thing I was looking at the wind. If the wind's like 15, you can actually sneak in a little bit of wind scaling before you go T2. If all things are equal, like people aren't like feeding you metal. So that's what I opted to do. Our air player was like, I did not feel good about this match from the very beginning because our second highest OS was question marks. We don't know what his OS is because he's either a Smurf or just started the game, just started playing the game. He's 3 chefs, so you don't know. Like, either it's going to be really bad or really good. In this situation, it worked out pretty good because probably the worst. How do I say this without being mean? Probably the not best front player, the most not best front player is in the back. So we're kind of like having your low OS players can be good because you're like mitigating how much damage that they can do to the team. But T2 makes such a huge difference. I think it worked out pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna end up just sitting here and thinking if I keep trying to go down that path. So when I open up, you take 3 maxes. On glitters, glitters is 12 wind. I've been for like the last week or two going solar only, and it's been okay. But the wind is 15, so that means it's a way better. And like it was sitting at 20 for so long, so I was like, what am I even gonna do with all this metal or all this energy or convert it, whatever. Your first goal as a tech player is that you want to get build power up really fast. So take your mechs and immediately get build power up, and then build a whole bunch of wind, if the wind is good, or if it's exceptionally good. And I think 15 is like exceptionally good. Bonus points if you make an e-storage. Like, I could have made, if I made con turrets sooner, then I would have used this metal up faster, and I'd have an even bigger advantage than I ended up having. I just reviewed this replay a tiny bit, and there was some small difference here, and the biggest difference was I wind scaled from the very beginning, and I was thinking about it like 15. If I wind scale, it should be okay. It'll pay off by the time I'll start building the factory, which is like if 15. Let me think. Maybe it was wrong. 15. You take 70 divided by 15, so you need about 5 winds. So that's 200 metal, and I'm estimating up. So 200 metal is like 3 minutes. So, and it ended up working out, and the wind was really good. So it ended up working out that I had produced 1,000 metal above the guy on the other side by the time T2 was up. So we'll get that going, and it could have been even better, because look at this. I'm floating 1,000 metal. So these con turrets should have been up way sooner, and then I could have scaled that much faster.
Commander has self-destructed.
And I decided to go with vehicles because I like vehicle teching. They cost more, but they don't have to be transported. And a big benefit is that they move faster. It's really frustrating to receive. I almost always receive a bot con, and they just move slow. So you have to do like a little bit of extra micro if you want. You have to like tap and go if you want to assist it, so that you can leave the build power behind and it can catch up later if you have vehicle cons or your commander or whatever to assist the con. So I prefer to the vehicle con because it just moves faster. Yes, thank you for watching my TED Talk. Also, when did I blow my comm? I was like, ooh man, I'm like so ahead on metal. But you want to keep your commander alive as long as you possibly can, because it produces 2 metal a second. So that alone, keeping it alive as long as you can. I like when people do this, where they try not to completely reclaim their comm so that they can res it later. I never do. I'm lazy. So, I was like looking at this earlier. So he didn't reclaim his lab before this, but let's inch it forward.
Commander has self-destructed.
Okay. We're actually kind of on par. Maybe I was looking at this the wrong way, because I was only 10,000 ahead on energy. I think I could have done this better by, having the con turrets up earlier. I'll eat this comm when I need that final 1,200 metal. So I'll time it just about when I'm bottom out and the factory is finished. That's when you can build one con and then upgrade all your extractors as fast as you can. And then when you have enough you have all these capped, the way I like to do it is then I'll start making more cons. And I don't share the cons until I have all of my mechs upgraded. I'm not a huge Fat Boy fan. I made videos about like how stupid I think that is in general. Um, it's kind of a crutch if you just play better. You don't really need it. But yeah. So kind of like comparing to the other tech. So now I'm about 500 metal ahead, and we've actually been pretty neck and neck here. Still about the same amount of metal, so it's not like the world's biggest difference at the moment. And also, Spacer Conturts, Spacer Wind, you're welcome. Tap and go. Upgrade all of your mechs. So this is when the difference is going to be huge, because people will be like, well, I'm only going to upgrade 2 of my mechs and then I'm going to share. I don't think that's the play. You're almost always going to be set up to have like all this concentrated build power in one place, and I guess another thing is like you can give your team a little bit of time to get more build power to upgrade the mechs faster. Maybe that's something. If people give you stuff to make it go faster, yeah, cool. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, but what's gonna happen here is the major thing is I'm gonna pull way ahead at this point on metal, and I'm the one with the T2. My metal is going to be so much more valuable than anyone else's metal, because as soon as the best way to play tech is to upgrade all your mechs and immediately activate. Don't start scaling. Just scale by helping front and eating the other team's front, because the other guy didn't, like, he just started making fusions or something and let his front die. I made a video about that. It's really like Banisher play and stuff like that. Or this game, I opted to go Mauser, but I was like getting so frustrated. You'll see a little bit. I get all my stuff upgraded. When I'm gonna have just enough build power, or just enough energy to spend all my metal really quick. But here's another thing that I've learned is that just in general, I talked about this in my last video. Words. Don't stay on one thing for too long. Like as a front player, make some units, then upgrade to pork, make bigger pork, scale in the back, be ready, like have the infrastructure to upgrade the mechs, your starting mechs, like in a heartbeat. As soon as you get it, like have tons of build power back there, upgrade it, and then that'll be a huge boon immediately. So I'm pulling ahead, 2k metal ahead, because I upgraded my mechs, and he didn't. His team will just a little bit more quickly get stuff up. I don't think it's very significant here. Our team is... this isn't like a great comparison, but right now my team is 7k ahead, and 2k of that alone is me. But that's not like a huge thing. It's kind of, just what's been happening on the front. But what you'll see in a moment is that I'm going to have all of this extra
Commander
metal
died.
to just
Commander died.
jump into something to help front. So I decided to go Mausers. And you'll see, I mean, this looks like a vulnerable lane.
Commander has fallen.
This will be great. And then we're not trying to get vision at all. So it's like, getting so mad. Yeah, here you go. This is where it really starts showing. Just a few minutes ago in the game, I was at I was 2K ahead. Now it's 6K that I'm ahead, and that accounts for, like, okay, we're still in a huge lead. You can look at this. I don't think anyone gave me medal or nothing like that. But what I was saying is, okay, so I made the Mausers. Okay, cool. I helped the front. And the front looks like they're doing pretty good anyway. Now I'm gonna do something else. I can scale, or I can come up with a different threat. Just depending on the situation. I like to scale. I'm a bad boy. But if it looks safe, I'm going to do it most of the time. Yeah, but this was so frustrating. Like, come on, man. There's Mausers. Someone's trying to help you, and you ain't doing nothing to at least give them a target. Like, I had to attack ground. It's really annoying. Yeah, I was back here chilling. Scaling. Don't be this guy. Don't try to make a fusion reactor a advanced factory. Okay, let's talk about this. Why is this suboptimal? Okay, we're gonna have to have a little talk right now. Okay, you have a finite amount of resources. Okay, this factory costs 29,000 metal. This fusion reactor costs 3,350 metal. Okay, if you made just one of these, one of them would have been finished or about finished. Secondly, try to have one major project going on at a time. So if you can, get yourself in the habit of eating factories while ecoing and then putting the factory back when you're done. The biggest no-no here is that these mechs aren't upgraded. And let's take a wild guess who's at the bottom of the list of metal produced. Somehow yellow is ahead of pink. Okay, he just didn't start with a lot of mechs, and he's Legion. It's really important to get some sort of scaling going as Legion to make up for that hit that you take, as you can see. But number one priority is finish those mexes. If you have to eat a factory to do it, eat the factory. Halt production. When we're upgrading our mechs, one project at a time. Especially if it's a big project. So yeah, that's a thing. If you needed to hear that, that's gonna be one of the biggest things I think noobs should work on. So I opted to oh man, my brain. Okay, I went on this huge tangent. So I scaled up, and I'm thinking, okay, air player isn't that good. There's this big issue right here where there's agitators or gauntlets on these two hills, and that's very spicy. Inexplicably, I don't see this gauntlet doing a whole lot, but in theory, a gauntlet is absolute insane value on a cliff like this. Any match or any map that has a space like this where you can place a gauntlet on the hill. Also, geos are incredibly important. But what this gauntlet can do is S is set target to the ground. By the way, you can blind fire, can and should, if you have the opportunity. Did they Kami or something? This kind of looks weird. Okay. It's... What you do with this gauntlet is you deny all of these mechs. That's absolutely huge. Second off is you get a radar up so you can target down anything in this area. Where's that other gauntlet? This is a insanely good gauntlet. So if you also to counter this, one of the biggest reasons I don't like playing Legion is that the amputator is like what is the word, impotent? It's just like a worse, it's cheaper but worse gauntlet or agitator. It doesn't have that great range. So I don't like it. I don't want it. What I was going to say. Yep, there it is. The jammer is really important. And we could talk about artillery warfare. And you can, if you can get the air player to scout this, or when it's already up, I mean, just like to get vision to know exactly where it's at. Because sometimes you can see where it's firing from, but sometimes you're not going to get the whole picture and find yourself firing at the ground in a gauntlet battle. But the jammer is really important. Also, some sort of like tick spam or something are all options. I don't like Legion because pork is so important in this game, and they seemingly have the worst pork, unless maybe the Hive is really good, but the drones get shot down. And looks like the agitator also outranges it. So this is inexplicably, actually I was going to say like inexplicably we're ahead, but actually this peak is further back, so it's denying mechs from the other team, but we're actually like more than half past the halfway point here. So I decided to go air, but also I decided to send some air cons to the front to eat this mech, eat these wrecks. I'm still pulling ahead. I'm like 6K ahead. Also, this number is a little bit what do you call it? The metal produced includes stuff that you reclaimed. So especially with a player like me who's constantly recycling things, it's gonna look a little bit boosted. I wish there was a statistic here that didn't include that. Like, I would like to see a number where, like, what metal did I actually produce? We can see that. We can look at the number of fusions and stuff and how long they've been up. So I'm not too sure. I wasn't looking. Okay, so okay. He's making hounds. So this is another thing that would have put this player behind, is that he made a fusion while I don't think he ate the bot lab at the time. These gunslingers were here, but gunslingers aren't that great against pork. We can slow this down and see, especially once the heavy laser turrets are up in the beamers or the twin guards or whatever. That was a whole lot of nothing. It's just gonna get eaten. On these matches that just become, on these maps that become trench warfare, pork is the be all end all. Oh, I was red. I mean, my brain. I was like, that I'm red. I've been blue most of the time. It just didn't register for me. So these Mausers are still. What's great about Mausers, artillery, I like Quakers too. Quakers are insane. Tremors are garbage. Don't make Tremors. Anything that's long range and can pressure turrets are okay. You don't have to do a whole lot. What was I saying earlier? Just like transition, these Mausers are just getting insane value. And now I'm off to the next thing. So I recognize that this I have to look at this airstrike because it went so bad. Also, there was something I was saying right before that, and I don't remember what I was saying. Okay, bombing. See how they have to, like, this. I hate this. I hate that this happens. They have to climb up the cliff. Climbing. And from this point of view, it's going to look like, and it's the same with crawling units. They actually, like, physically, they don't just, like, start from the bottom and teleport to the top. They walk all the way up the cliff. It's the same for air units. So they're going to go real slow. And I was, like, looking at this, like, what the heck happened? And I need to up my micro because bombers are slower than air units. So ideally you would want the air units to be right on top of the bombers, because what people like to do, well, the air will either fly in and the fighters will fly in and get chewed up by the pork, for one. And they can also, if the air player can just, like, fly around as the bombers fall behind, they can just wrap around and take out the bombers if they have early enough warning. So I was watching this. I was just like, why isn't that dead yet? Well, let's see what happened. It seemed like this one landed almost. What is happening? It looked like it landed. I did some terrible miss micro. And then I also overcommitted because we did get what we wanted, the Geo, well, mostly the agitator, but the Geo, and I decided to commit to the SAM because the SAM, any anti-air entrenchment on these peaks it just makes it so difficult to do anything about. So while this was happening, I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god, why Indian? I was getting mad. So, okay, we did a little bit of damage. Well, they're probably, what's their response when there's an airstrike? Everyone's probably gonna be like, "Oh my God, there's air, we're getting bombed." So everybody's gonna build anti-air. So not only have you done some damage, hopefully you did some damage. Also you scared everybody in the building anti-air, and you can just be like, I'm gonna make some more fusion reactors. Also, I learned this. Actually, is he still here? Yeah. Hey, Birdseye, what's up? I'm just making a video right now. I like playing with Birdseye. Good teammate. I played with it's the Annihilator. I've been hosting Glitters lobbies and calling it Glitterers. Toxic only. Okay, so a while back I was playing some team games with Lord Dot, and he said that Aphis is trolling, and I didn't really understand why. It's because what I figured out is that Aphis is like 3 times the build power, if not more. Let me actually look at it to confirm. 300. It's probably like 3 times actually. It's 6 times. Fusion reactor is 5,400 build power, and Aphis is 300,000. So you want to stay on fusions way longer than you would think. Basically. And one thing IYC said while I was watching his stream is like, going air basically is build power scaling. And then I thought about it, like, that's actually like that's insanely big brain. I was like, wow. Hey, watch streams, watch your own replays, stream the game, watch yourself play, be critical, learn things, like be critical of your gameplay and learn things. And yeah, like when I watch IYC, I was like, why is he always floating metal? Oh my God. But what I learned was what they like to do is like specific timings, but I still like to deplete all of my metal. Be very efficient in that regard. I don't like floating metal unless it's for a reason. So I scale on BP super hard, and then when build power turns into spending your metal faster, which means scaling faster, which means you get more metal, and it's a compounding thing. So anyway, I'm at 6 fusions right now, and I'm 8k ahead. But like, how many fusions does this guy have? He's on 3. That's kind of curious. Oh, one thing also is air takes a lot of energy. So when you build the fusion, it's actually like, it's going to slow down how much metal you're going to be getting from conversion. Just a thing to think about. It's not so much, air is weird in that it's build power heavy and energy heavy, but not so much metal. But in terms of like, I guess there's a huge opportunity cost for the amount of energy that could have been converted to metal. But what will end up happening is every so often, you'll kind of find yourself pulling ahead on metal. That's when you would add in another fusion sort of thing. I need a moment. I think there's a little bit of nonsense that I'm talking here. Yeah, so I went on the scout and I was like looking for a target to bomb, and I was like, the tech probably has something. And then you see the bombers fell behind. I found one fusion. I had to settle for destroying some energy converters. And that's why you spread out your metal converters, spread out your wind. This is like one bombing run waiting to happen. This is almost 3,000 worth of wind turbines that will blow up all in one shot because you were too lazy to hit Z or X on the keyboard or the side button on your mouse. It's unacceptable. Do better. Thank me later. Everyone's gonna laugh at you. Not everyone, but someone will. I'll laugh at you. Okay. So I don't know what my thought was behind this. It's like, sad. T2
Commander died.
getting lost in my base. I was like, I could walk over there and have more con turrets in range, or I could roll over there and have more con turrets in range, or just set it there, or I could build a transport and then pick it up and put it over there. Probably could have did that. There's definitely a laziness factor to this game. There's the easy thing to do, and then there's the right thing to do. And at least in my own growth and development, part of improving is just biting the bullet and building the good habits and not taking the easy suboptimal way and planning instead doing the right thing. The safest was probably dumb. Do the right thing in the right order, one thing at a time. And then there was a point to all that. But I completely lost it. Okay. So we're 100,000 metal ahead. I'm 10k ahead, and I've done a little bit of bombing. Yeah, basically I'm out of juice right now. I'm going to go T2 air now, because this is about. I have enough in the bank, I guess. Poop. I'm just gonna speed this up so we have something to talk about. At this point, I'm like realizing, okay, I have enough air, and slowly, I'm going to make air scouts and try to scout and get info on what to bomb when. And also, I was thinking, one thing these higher OS players do when they get up in their 40s, 50s, 60s is they will, it doesn't matter what lane they're doing or what their role is, they're going to, if there is a need for air, like there's a lot of value in keeping your team from getting bombed. So they often will patrol the entire team with their own air. If the need arises. Which is, there's almost always a need. So we're going to try to keep the bombers in the air in the same place. Huge miss micro. I guess it takes 2 atomic bombers to destroy fusion. And that got depleted. So I'm just...
Commander
From
has fallen.
here, it's just trying to finish them off quickly, and air is a quick way to do that. If we had more information, we'd know that there was no anti-nuke. Back here, I'm just going to have all of these con turrets. Every once in a while, if I don't... I'm going to read the situation, and here's the way I've been thinking about it. If I'm going for air, I guess maybe this applies to other things. If I want to do damage, do I have enough pork? First of all, first priority is not taking damage. Second priority is figuring out if there is a way to do damage. If there is no apparent way to do any damage, that's when you scale. And then hopefully, as an air player, okay, I keep checking, okay, do I have enough air? Do I have enough air? It seems like I'm pulling ahead here. Maybe I don't have enough. I guess I was going by feeling oh, they definitely have a bunch of anti-air at this point. So the first bomb, it took 2 atomic bombers, and that's the bare minimum. But next time, I'm definitely gonna need more. So if I don't think, okay, I don't have enough to do any damage, I'm gonna scale for a little bit, and then go back to it. Or you can go for a bigger attack while sacrificing eco. I don't like that. If I have a scale first mentality. I don't want to fall behind on eco. There's not much I could have done wrong in this situation though, really. Scouting around. I got two liches. Lots of pings. Air, help me please. Bam. There's another. And then just keep doing it. I think if it's not this bombing run, it's probably the next one where they, or maybe I get that one. Also, this is if you control less than half of the map, you've probably lost the match already and you're just dragging it out. So this is just a speeding it along sort of thing. If the airplay wasn't working, then we'd have had to try something else. It's kind of obvious, I've outscaled this guy. Okay, I think that's about the time where they. So this is the base management that I do. Some people like to not space their con turrets. One guy was telling me, well, with air you need so much build power that you shouldn't, unless he's a glitters player. But you do have options of reclaiming your con turrets and not spacing them later. That's one thing you can do. Let's see. You know, it would be really embarrassing. Okay, if the audio was off the entire time. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, it'll just be like this conga line of Aphis eventually. And when the late game comes and you start struggling to spend your metal, that's when you might consider not spacing the con turrets. But what you can still do is do them in blocks. One thing that's also really cool about this is if my converters get exploded here, this isn't like, it doesn't look fully developed out. It's like usually like 3 lines here. These will blow up to here, and then I'll still have these con turrets here, and then I can just rebuild them very quickly as such. And my base, usually I'll fill it out in the front where I'd be pooping out units and just surround the factory here. Usually it'll either be it's usually a T3 that goes here, or my T2 as it develops. With this one, you'll just have a sprawl. So like if I needed more, I would just plop this down and then put a huge group of con turrets there as well. It didn't really get to that point. But the important thing is that we converted this metal into aggression at certain points of in time and didn't overcommit. And by not overcommitting, that freed us up to scale.
Commander died.
And that's how you get to these 60k metal differences at 30 minutes. Like double the over double the metal energy produced. Stuff like that. Maybe a better way to look at this, like late game stuff, is looking at the energy produced, because you can't artificially inflate it by reclaiming stuff. Let's look at the time. 48 minutes. Do I have the energy to do another? I could do this very quickly. 57 minutes. There's some disgusting stuff that you can do on glitters. This was horrible. I'm still in the lobby. This one was horrible. Someone commied it was over in like 8 minutes. I think I was receiving no support from the guy behind. I play a lot of noob lobbies. I don't know if I have the energy to go through a 60-minute replay. I did play this one earlier. I could open up my Twitch stream. That'd be a little bit clunky. Yeah, the thing about these replays is that you can't like buffer through them. You have to watch the entire thing, and the deeper you get into the replay, the slower the replay is. Ugh, it's gross. I think I actually like played this really bad. I think this is the one that I started. No, no, I did Anti Canyon. It's gross. This is so disgusting, and I seen this a day or so ago, and it's just like, man, I don't want. This is what Glitters comes down to, okay? Does your air player like give you a transport and send his figs over there or not? Because this is disgusting. I'm gonna give him some wind to get me a air transport, and then drop mace up here. I'm just like poking away at him. You're silly. Look at that.
Commander,
you're silly Willy.
Commander has fallen.
He got a heavy transport. Dude, he got oh my god, it's so funny. He got a heavy transport, and then it got shot down. Womp womp. So next time I'll build. I think it got shot down, my air transport, but you would. I think what you want to do is, after you get a mace up there, you get you find some way to build an anti-air on both of these, but even that, I think a single anti-air wouldn't be enough. Before it lands. I have no idea. You can do the testing. I don't know. But there's just like, this is just, I don't like that these peaks are here, because it's just who has the most meta play to deny these peaks, because we were looking at the replay earlier. I'm gonna get an agitator up here. Trans get stuck when climbing, you have to click twice. So he's gonna try to eat that at some point, probably. Cons, Artie. This is disgusting. Also, I've made like no units. I actually made a bunch of cons and am solar scaling back here. But yeah, my highest priority first is, I'm not gonna build a gauntlet yet because I need this metal. I may have overbuilt these A-solars. You never really know when you're gonna receive your con. So it's hard to time. Sometimes, like, by the time you get your con, you would have been able to finish your T2 factory, sort of thing. But this will be disgusting. Completely shut down Canyon. I haven't denied too many mechs. If you can get a agitator as Canyon right here, it's fucking disgusting. One guy got out 2 LRPC up here, and then he didn't fire them until he had 2, and then targeted my Aphis. And I'm like, well, that was fun. That's how I discovered this disgusting meta. So I can deny all these mechs. If the gauntlet ever, like, it'll help over here. So I'll upgrade all this. Eventually I get a second, make a second T2 con. The goal is to get a rattlesnake up here really quickly, so I'll need more build power. I'll eat this and then replace it with the rattlesnake. Ideally way earlier than I have it here. Like before these fusions are up. So I'll have to eat the gauntlet. Build a rattlesnake. And this was so annoying. I don't know how to push in the canyon. Like,
Commander has fallen.
I guess I should have went vanguards. I probably did do vanguards. Then he had salamanders, and salamanders are actually insane. And I don't think ambassadors outrange rattlesnakes. I'm not too sure. Like, this arbiter is never gonna kill this. It's slowly getting there. I don't even notice for a while, but yeah, this entire lane is completely shut down. Like, this guy could just be sitting back here scaling without a care in the world, and pork up here, and it's so gross. And I've denied this thing denies the 3.2 max here if I was paying attention, and it's denying all of these max here. This it denies two 3.2 max. It's probably like a total value of like 10, 12, 15, somewhere in there. It's disgusting, okay? And then the next thing would to build a LRPC up here. I'm not gonna do this Recluse play again. I guess maybe the Recluse were really late. This area is so easily defended. This would have been either Vanguard or LRPC. I would prefer the LRPC first before Vanguard, because 2 LRPC is the cost of a T3 factory. So it's just like a timing thing. I was just like, never had enough to actually do much of anything here. I was like, someone was always there to save this guy, and it was not fun. This thing's gonna slow down really bad. This is gonna take a while. I'm not even gonna pause this. So this is a noob lobby, and what you have to do to carry your team in a noob lobby is scale super hard while spamming pulsars for everyone else, because as you can see, no one has the wherewithal to make their own pork. So you have to do it for them. You have to make spam for them, because no one wants to make their own spam. No matter how much you bag them, no one's going to help you push. None of that. And the higher OS you are, it's just like the more you have to do. Ideally, I'd be targeting these catapults with the pulsars. I think they're about the same range. Pulsar range, I'm trying to look and see. 1400, 1350 for the catapults. So pulsar actually outranges the pulsar. I really like pulsar. They just have stupid range and trades incredibly well against T3. Like, I just couldn't figure out a solution to really just break open this canyon. The good thing is, yeah, I actually don't really need to. And it's really scary. If you like pushing the canyon, often what happens is you just feed metal, because it's so easily defended. You'd be better off pushing up the middle here. Another thing I guess I could have done was do starlights, like I was talking about in that video before, but I was so concentrated on getting this rattlesnake up. Like, look at this. This is disgusting. This rattlesnake is... I wish there was a way to look at, like, the metal value of what damage it's done. But this thing is just absolutely disgusting. Bonus points if I put a jammer on it or something. I don't know. Hills are super valuable in this game. I was getting really frustrated while I was playing at certain points because I'd be doing pushes. Like, okay, I'm pushing with these vanguards, so I've essentially aggroed their air player, and our air player is not being helpful. Probably flak too soon.
Commander has fallen.
Which is probably part of the reason why he's behind.
Commander died.
And what do I get for building all these pulsars for my team? Oh, they're just gonna keep pushing with SARs, I guess, outside of the range where the stuff that I built them isn't gonna get any value. Demons are really bad, so this guy's going to be constantly feeding metal to the other team, making demons that aren't gonna do any damage and probably die before they even start firing. Nice. What? He's got these catapults. Are they going to aim at anything? No, they are running away. Nice.
Game paused. Game started.
In fact, they are on hold fire. Waiting for the perfect opportunity that will never come. Nice. Fired at a demon. Catapults are really nice at, if you attack ground, they're really good at cleaning up sharpshooters. Like so. Attack ground, press S and hold, right click. Thank me later. You're welcome. So I'm like, I've broken open this canyon, but I had not thought about building flak or bringing flak all the way up into here. But hey, like, I was thinking about, okay, maybe a few times I was thinking I just need an army of... I could have been making consorts now that I think of it, but it's just like a lot of this is just pulsar creep on these maps, and this is great. Now there's juggernauts and behemoths. We have 20 ambassadors. A well-balanced army of not enough spam, so that happened. You always need spam. This battle is a guaranteed loss, so we're going to take it. Shit. I like the sharpshooters. Sharpshooters are good. The biggest thing here is just need a bunch of spam to counter the spam. And have a comm hidden in here so that these could have just been degunned. And it's just gonna be frustrating, you know? still 200 metal income ahead. Mostly because of me. But these salamanders are really good at taking care of pawn spam. And the Titan just doesn't have that much... like, it's a strong unit. But it just doesn't, like, take care of T1 units fast enough, which is a problem with most. So now I have to think about how do I deal with as arm, maybe Razorbacks or Marauders. I gotta be like really conscious of like this wreck pile is just gonna keep building up and up and up and up. And then I've been a lot more willing to go air more often, so but I'm not that great at microing it. I saw this, there was a nuke that happened on the front line, like inexplicably landed. So I had two options. I could have tried bombing, or I didn't feel confident in doing that. What I could do is bomb all this T3 in Canyon. I've switched from arm to core simply because Juggernaut seemed to do more damage to you than the other team. Probably a skill issue. Yep. Always someone to plug a hole. Team always seems to be lagging behind. Really frustrating. Okay, so when you get into these late T3 late games, a big thing is there's going to be a lot of wreck piles piling up, and it's going to be something where inexplicably, like, where are they getting all this metal? It's coming off the ground, so you're limited by how much you're eating and how much build power you have, which I've lost a game or two just because I struggle to figure out, like, how am I going to get all this build power? And part of it was my unwillingness to not space my conturrets. That was a big thing. But yeah, you want to be near 0 metal as often as you can. So I want to eat all this and convert it into ideally just pulsars. Just a big line of pulsars like everywhere, so that it can never get broken through. And then glitters really often comes down to LRPC spam after things are so porked up that you could never possibly do any damage. So vanguards are actually really good only in cases where you're at a standstill like that, and then you can go for kata or lol cannons. I keep calling it's called the Calamity or Ragnarok. I call Pulsar's Catalyst. I call lol cannons Catalyst. My bad. I do that. I think at some point I did get a bombing run, and I never stopped scaling. I pause scaling sometimes, but not forever. Like, playing these games, you just know that if someone just did this one thing a little bit better. Or knew this one thing, it would save so much frustration. It happens a lot. So, from my perspective right now is I've gone air, so like there's no reason why we shouldn't be bombing them into the Stone Age. I don't actually see anything that I didn't catch anything that was particularly wrong. I think the next thing I want to work on is getting LRPC in Canyon. Or playing Canyon. Just look at this, how disgusting this is. Like, I know it. My entire team is going to get wiped and everyone's going to fall on me. Salamanders are such bullshit, dude. You see, I'll be able to rebuild this incredibly quickly, so it's fine. I lose all of my converters. It's fine. Because there's all this metal on the ground. And I can rebuild so fast. I'm not even sure, like, I didn't catch what blew up this side even the second time, but it's probably like LRPC or something, or maybe something was in a dumb spot. But I didn't, like, I was dumb. I didn't have, I'm just gonna keep playing this. I didn't have Sabbats, Beamers, Catalysts, Screamers. I didn't have like literally every possible pork that you could have in abundance, so whoops. And every once in a while we'll be able to do a push, and man, did I really just send... Yeah. That's unfortunate. Just sent a bunch of Lich to die. But what's... There's all this... This is still gonna turn around because I think what happened... This guy activated. Yeah, I think this guy activated in a really big way because all of a sudden, like, I went from defensive mode to this guy had 5 Titans. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, guys, please, please, please obey. Please, I'm begging you. Just put some pulsars back there. See, it didn't take too long to rebuild this. Ideally, I would not have to rebuild this at all.
Commander died.
I guess I should have been also greedier with placement. And I have so many backup anti-nukes because I don't want to get hit by an EMP and just have my day ruined. EMPs have such long range also. Like, I'm getting my conversion back up really quickly. That's really good. But just the reclaim. You see how quickly this gets rebuilt? Just by having some con turrets that survived. It's really nice. Otherwise, you start with, like, quite often what happens is your Aphis gets blown up and just everything is gone and you're starting from 0. I got an Aphis farm, I guess. Yeah, no, like this is time to just eat everything. Build power, just go nuts with build power until all this is blown through. And these rec fields they're just gonna keep growing. Yep, here are the Titans. I'm at first I'm like everywhere I look there's a new hole to plug, or every time I push there's somebody there to plug the hole to help. But ultimately we pulled through. I saw that and I'm like, another base just blew up. That was a juggernaut. I noticed very quickly. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. More to eat. Formally, but he has vision? At some point it's good to build a Ragnarok. I need to do something about this mic stand because I have to like hold it in place. It just, there's something in there that got stripped so it doesn't stay in one place and I can't loosen it or tighten it. Stop making build power, you don't have metal. Said somebody in the chat, because you can't, or in the in-game chat, because you can't queue in fog. I don't know what that means. But yeah, this is a noob lobby, and you can see the difference between a planned base and an unplanned base. And there's a lot of benefits to that. First of all, it's the same every time, so you don't have to like think about where is this gonna go, where's that gonna go, and it's a little bit more optimized. All the good stuff. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, this is basically over. It has so much anti-air in like some spots and very little otherwise. Excuse me. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been more willing to do is air, because I find that air is very easily countered. But you shouldn't just leave it out of your toolkit, which is what I've done for a long time. I'm just chasing after this mic. Here we go. I may not have made enough pork or anti-air, but this air player has finally been able to lend some aid. Yep, so that was the video. Womp womp. Didn't get to the end. Bum bum ba-dum bum. Yeah, we end up winning that one within the next few minutes of the match. Hey, if you're interested, I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Annihilator. That's TEHANNIHILATER. You can see me rage there. It's not pretty. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Peace.